Okay, hello everyone, guys. So this is one of the first pre-recorded podcasts. We usually, we do them live, Roger and myself, but we're starting this new thing now that we're gonna introduce a few guest speakers, and our very first one is Johannes. It's Johannes, or
Yes, correct. Yeah.
the pronunciation. So Johannes is the guy behind our Bibles. So the Metal Bible, I don't know if he's the founder or the mastermind behind it. So he will tell us more as we progress. So we're gonna hear about his story and the story of the Metal Bible, and maybe if we have some time to share some stories from the things you do. So welcome to our podcast, and yeah, shall we start tell a little bit about yourself? So
Mhm.
uh, who are you and what you do in Sweden, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Johannes Jonsson here in Sweden, and I've been working with Metal Mission for 30 years now. And one of the key things that I've been doing for quite a few years now is the Metal Bible that you just mentioned there. So that's what my heart is on fire for to spread the kingdom of God in the metal world, and the Metal Bible is a really crucial and very important part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And besides working with this, I work full time with the computer support and supporting the Swedish police with they call in us and we help them with different computer problems and phones, etc.
Okay. So that helps you juggle the missional stuff.
Mm. Yeah, I do all the mission for God on my spare time, and that's always
Uh-huh.
been the case for me. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so pretty much similar that us
Mhm.
ourselves here. So we're not we've been obviously supported by the Salvation Army, but financially we support ourselves from our regular jobs.
Mhm.
Uh, so have you been a metalhead or a Christian and a metalhead all your life, or one came first and the other one after?
Um, I have been a Christian my whole life. I was raised and born into a Christian family, so I got Christian teachings and started reading a Bible very early. And at 7, I made a decision to follow Jesus. 7 years old, and be following Christ since then. Metalhead, I was not until in 1989, so it's quite late before I really started to enjoy heavy music. But yeah, I've been metalhead after that.
Okay. So what was your like from your chats and your like your your environment, friends and family regarding metal music? Because the
Mm,
church I came into faith,
mm,
uh, I was one of the most conservative and fundamentalist churches in
mhm.
Greece,
Okay.
Pentecostal church, and they were like anti instruments and the musical instruments. I mean, you could listen only, you're allowed to listen only very specific Christian music, not just Christian music like the worship music that you call, like very specific artists as well. I mean, the last few years things have changed a little bit, but I mean, not even rock. In my like metal was like completely out of the question. So for me, it was like a very strange period of my life because I couldn't stand the music they were recommended it, and I was keep listening to metal uh, like hiding Jews from Nazis. So what was your experience on that?
Well, it was some tough years in the beginning when I started to really enjoy metal. Where many in the Christian church I was part of back then were totally against it. So at times it felt like you were the only metalhead that allowed Jesus in the church. So they were totally against it there and preached against it and said lots of bad things. So, but that has changed. So now things are much calmer. And yeah, I mean, I think some people still have their opinions about this, but they don't say too much about it. And so it's a lot more openness, much more openness in Christian circles about metal now. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah. I guess. Yeah, I think it changes, isn't it? So I think they're becoming. I don't know. They're becoming
More
more
accepted to it.
more accepted. They still. I don't think they still understand it, but I think they're becoming
No,
like a
no,
little.
no. That's true. That's true.
I'm not sure if we say more accepting. I think they become less grumpy.
Yeah, maybe that's the proper description.
Because when I was talking to my church about starting this ministry,
Hmm.
like people couldn't understand it. So what you going to do? I was like, I don't know. The only thing I know that God wants me to do these things. Like
Hmm.
I don't, I haven't got a clue what I'm going to do.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, it was a bit a strange time. Uh, so the moment so you're still at the same place, same church, or
No, not at the moment. I'm not part of that church any longer. Not because of this rock thing, but yeah, no, I decided to walk on from there. But yeah, it's still a good church, although it's changed a bit latest years, a bit in direction, etc. But yeah, they were on fire for God, and that's the most important thing. So fine.
so now are you like apart from is it like a metal church where you are, or just a uh, normal church?
What you
What's a
mean?
normal church anyway? A non-metal church. Like,
Yeah, non-metal sounds. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we are. We have both. We have two identities. Both you and I. We are both Christians and we are both metalheads, and we just combine the music with with our Christian faith, and that's a wonderful combination. Just to pick the best from both worlds. And of
yeah,
course, metal will always be controversial and very extreme in some circles. And that's because it is extreme and it's not for everyone. But yeah, that's how it is.
yeah, yeah. So now, in terms of of community, do you have like a metal Christian community, like as a gathering, or you do things like on whenever?
Mm. Yeah. I'm part of the leadership of an organization called Metal Sanctuary, and every year we organize a Metal Prayer Day. We pray for revival in the metal world. We pray for the metal bar. We pray for Christian metal bands that they will reach out to more people, etc., etc. And also after we have prayed, we also have a gig with a few bands, Christian metal bands playing there. So yeah, and we are also having some metal Bible outreaches sometimes together, and sometimes it's me and my wife go to a festival and have an outreach also with the metal Bible. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's about it.
Okay, but the sanctuary is the same, the one that happens in the UK as well, isn't it? Once a year.
Yeah. There are lots of Christian metal organizations called Sanctuary after Pastor Bob Eamon's Sanctuary International, and of course he is a role model, and have had the pleasure to meet him several times, and also was able to, together with some friends, to organize a festival, a Christian metal festival called Bob Fest for 7 years here in Sweden. And since he is such a role model, we choose to also add Sanctuary to our name, Metal Sanctuary, just to have an own twist on it. That,
Yeah.
but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also Pastor Bob, he was the very first one, isn't it? No one ever thought about any reaching out to metalheads. like
exactly.
as a metalhead, not like to take them out of metal and make them like
Mhm.
good
Mm,
Christians with suits and ties. So
mm.
like he was the first that got the message out that you're fine as you are. Like
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can carry on being like this.
Exactly. Yes, keep your style, but follow Jesus. That's about it, I think. And yeah, he has done such so many good things when it comes to metal mission and to really help lots of metalheads that have found Christ to stay saved and keep walking with Jesus. So yeah, it's a big role model in so many ways.
hmm Okay. So how it came to you? If you tell me a little bit about you being a Christian and being a metalhead. So how you work out on you know involved on the metal ministry, to say it
Mm.
like this. I don't really like that term, but like it always sounds very churchy to me. But like we can
Mm.
use it for clarity.
Yeah, or metal mission, or what you can call it.
Yeah.
But anyway, just to combine metal with Christian faith, and but I mean, it's so natural for me to combine these two personalities. I'm a Christian first and foremost, but I was a metalhead, 100% metalhead. So it's just very, very, what you can say, very natural just to combine these two identities. And um, yeah, and I mean, God is very powerful. God is not a wimp. I mean, it says in the Bible that when God speaks, it's the voice of big waters, like waterfalls, etc. So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
God is very powerful. So why not combine the most powerful music, metal, that is, with the most powerful being that is God? So yeah, I think it's just natural. And also you can see in the Psalms, like 100, Psalm 150 says we should worship God with loud drums and with harp or electric, no, not electric, but with strings, and we should also worship God with loud noises in some other
Yeah.
uh, words there. So I mean, it's quite natural, really. But of course, metal will always be controversial, so not everyone will like it. But that's how it
Yeah. Of
is.
course. Yeah. I mean, it has a lot of like aggressiveness there in it.
Yeah, it has.
So, but that aggressiveness is not always
No, you
bad.
know, Jesus was quite aggressive also, at least one time there when he cleansed the temple there. So, so I mean, sometimes there's a need for a righteous anger, but yeah, because I mean, even God gets angry sometimes at sin and at evilness and at yeah, people that are doing very bad things, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
And also some things in society are so totally against what God has planned. So, of course, it's just natural for us Christians to feel an outrage against that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No. I don't know. For me, I don't know how it's for you, but I always had that feeling. Not always. Like the last few years, I had that feeling that metal, like the what metal stands for, is what you get closer to the message of the gospel.
Mm.
I don't know. What's your take on that? Like that rawness, that like honestly,
Mm.
that honesty, that life is not happy clappy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Worship Sunday morning worship service is like
Mm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jesus was very radical when he walked on earth, and metal is very radical. Is either you're black or you're either you're pro this or you're against this, and I mean, it's you view your opinions and say what's on your heart, really, to the point. You're not making it like candy coating anything, but yeah, just tell it like the harsh reality that we face every day.
hmm
So it's bold and radical, just like Jesus was when he was Earth. Yes.
Yeah, no. I found it interesting a lot of times. We did a few podcasts on reflecting on lyrics from non-Christian bands.
Hmm.
So we did some from Tool, Slipknot, Death, and a lot of times you read the lyrics and it's like, especially like Death, we did Spirit Crusher. It's like that could have been in the book of the Psalms. Like the lyrics are so
Mm.
deep, so profound, like talking about anger and like what can it do to your soul and everything. It's like that's like yeah, that could easily been have been written from King David and like being in the book of Psalms warning, or like in the book of Proverbs warning you about the perils of being angry all the time.
Mm.
And it's like it's been written from a person that was not religious.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. And some cool thing also that some non-Christian metal band also has some take some stories directly from the Bible, like Metallica had this creeping death song, etc. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Because I mean, when you look at it in the Bible, especially the Book of Revelation, it's very fitting to use that kind of imagery, a bit dark imagery, but use it with metal. It's like fitting like the hand in the glove. There is, yeah, it's a
I
perfect
think
match.
from the book of Revelation you make quite a lot of good death metal albums, isn't
Yeah,
it?
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, just the imagery, it's like taking that, like it's really, really strong and yeah. So about the Metal Bible then, about the story of the Metal Bible, how it came to be and how it goes.
Yeah. Well, it started with a vision that I got many years ago, back in 1996, actually. Then there were several special Bibles, like we had the Bike Bible, a Football Bible, etc. But there was no rock Bible, no metal Bible. And then I just thought, why not? We need to have that kind of Bible as well. So I just contacted the organization that put the special Bibles together, and I told them my idea, and they said, "Oh, that's a cool idea. That's needed as well." But back then, I never thought that I would be the one that would carry out this mission and make this a reality. I just thought it was a good idea. So I just let this idea rest for many, many years. And then in 2002, I met a friend of mine and we talked. And he says that, well, there are lots of different cool special Bibles, but there's still no metal Bible. And when he said metal Bible, then God strongly spoke to me and said that now is the time to start working with this. And then it was God's time for it, because then I had lots of more people in the network that I can connect with, etc., in the Christian metal world and such. So it was the time to do it then. So I contacted Roel Åkesson of Bible for the Nations, and together we managed to pull it off in Swedish. But it took 3 long years before it was finally released. And God led it so we could feature some very cool people in it, like Nick McBrain of Iron Maiden, the drummer there, and we have Peter Balls of Accept, we have Brian Welch of Korn, and Tom Aldrich of Whitesnake, etc. And of course we have Michael Sweet of Striper, and Ted Kirkpatrick of Tourniquet, and lots of famous persons also from the
Yeah,
Christian metal world. So, but we had to wait for several of these testimonies for a very long time. I mean, we had to wait for Nico McBrain's testimony for half a year, and I had about given up that he would ever return his text to me. But finally he did, and then it was just in the perfect time so we could bring it in the Metal Bible and have it in time for the release at Sweden Rock Festival, the biggest metal festival here in Scandinavia. So it was God's perfect timing. And so yeah, that's wonderful. So and then we have been at Sweden Rock Festival, and we've also been at Wacken Open Air, which is the biggest metal festival in the world. They're like
Wacken
maybe
is the mecca of metal, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It is. We have been there personally for 3 years, so it's like 80,000 metalheads at least gathering there every year in a
You go
small.
there as Metal Bible or just visiting?
Yeah, so we had lots of metal Bible with us there, and we also had it translated into other languages like German and English. So when we went to Wacken the first time, Gal led it so we could release it both in English and German the same year before we went there, so it could have as much impact as possible there.
I think the English one is the one with the biggest impact, isn't it? Because you have so many
Yeah,
countries that you can expand.
yeah, it's very good, and also Spanish, of course. Then we can reach all the Spanish-speaking people in South and Latin America, South and Middle America, and also Mexico, such as Spain. So that's also a very huge language. So we have it in Spain as well.
I think.
But yeah,
Sorry, go on.
yeah. When we are at these festivals, we just put up some signs saying that feel free to take a metal Bible. And then those are interested come forward to us and pick a copy of it. So it's
So that
always
was
their
that,
initiative. Yeah.
so that was a stall inside the festival, not outside.
Exactly. Yeah. We were both. We have both been at the inside and outside. I mean, I also have a Christian metal shop called Metal Community. So I hired both for Metal Community. They're inside Wacken and also inside Sweden Rock Festival and other festivals. And there I have Christian metal, but they also have metal Bibles for free. And then there are also teams at outside the area there at the entrance, and that are there and also putting up signs. Feel free to take a metal Bible, and then people come and pick from them as well. So we do outreach both inside and outside the festivals. Yeah.
So, what's the general reaction? Like, so I guess you get got people that are Christians already, and they say, "Oh,
Yeah.
Metal Bible. I may as well have one for my Bible study group." But I was mostly interested on the reactions and conversation we have with non-Christians, basically, because that's the main thing, is it? We are
Yes, it is. Yes,
kind of
yes, it is.
going out to the people that don't know Christ, like.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's the actual main reason why I put this metal Bible together, just to break down misconceptions that many metalheads have about the Bible, and to show that the Bible is a cool book and is relevant, and it's metal, and it's the perfect book also for us that love metal. So just break down misconceptions and show people that the Metal Bible is a cool book, so they check it out and check out the message and find Christ. That's the reason I put this together.
So did you get people that they kind of came into faith from like two
Yeah.
festivals, from
Yes,
conversation we had?
yes, more and more I have come to know Christ through that. Some at the festivals, but and that's wonderful. But most of the people, some time after they have got the Metal Bible. I mean, sometimes the Metal Bible maybe will rest at their homes for years, and then when they meet, they have a life crisis, or God is searching them in some way, then they remember, God reminds them that they have a Metal Bible, and they pick it up and they read it and check out the message there.
This is very interesting, because this is a story. It's like I have heard to a lot of testimonies, people sharing testimony. There's a lot, like a very caring theme that we had that Bible sitting on a shelf, and like one night I decided to read it. And, like, and it's very interesting because like it happens a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It does. It does. And also, when talking about reaction we got from people that when they see the Metal Bible is mostly very positive, also from people that don't know Christ at all. And they think it's a very cool book, and many say that they would never touch an ordinary looking Bible, but the Metal Bible, they feel that it's their Bible, it's the Metalheads Bible, so of course we need to have it.
We should get one to Nergal. Because he has a habit of tearing it apart on the stage, isn't it?
Maybe he won't enjoy it, I think, unfortunately. Yeah, but that's a story I can tell also with Nagel and Behemoth there. Actually, you were at another festival called Metalsvenskan in Sweden. And there they played, and lots of other bands as well. And actually, when Behemoth played, you could feel in the atmosphere it was a very dark and satanic atmosphere there, not good at all. But during their set there, lots of people were drawn from that stage where they were playing and to us, to our booth that we had there inside the festival area. So during the festival outreach there, actually it was during Behemoth set that most people were coming to us.
Really?
Checking out the Metal Bible and Christian metal. Yeah.
I mean, although I don't believe Behemoth are actual Satanists. I mean, they never describe themselves as Satanists, but there is like this satanic imagery that kind of...
Yeah, they approve Satan in some one way or another at least, so it's not good.
Yeah, I'm saying like they're not actual Satanists, but like they still keep that satanic imagery, which it can make you feel at unease. But it's very interesting that like one have like a very satanic theme show, and then like it's very... I mean, it's very interesting how God's spirit works with people.
Yeah, they felt that there was a different kind of spirit around our booth there, so they were drawn to it and to the light there. Yeah. That's wonderful.
So you also, I've seen you do Hellfest as well, which is like primarily black metal, isn't it? The Hellfest.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of different kind of metal, but of course there are some very dark bands there as well. So I mean, we try to have the Metal Bible in as many festivals as possible that where God opens the door for it. And sometimes we are able to hire a booth for it or for a metal community inside the festival area, and that's always the best, of course. But sometimes we can just be outside the festival area and being available for people there and
it's very interesting because we kind of thinking of doing something similar with Metal Bibles.
Yes, that's perfect.
They're not like festivals. Any festivals happening in our county here, but there are some venues that we're thinking, kind of, obviously working with the venue. We don't want to just like pop in there and start giving Bibles away.
No. It's always best if you can have cooperate with the festival leading there and just show them that we are being in the background there, offering Metal Bibles, but only those that want to take them. So
because you want to build relationships with them, isn't it? You don't want to be like a firework that's pop in there, throw a few Bibles and run away. You want to build relationships, and those venues actually are where other non-Christian metalheads hanging out. So if you've been kicked out once, then you're losing your relationship, isn't it? You're not gonna be welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, about kicking out, I have only been kicked out once at a Metal Bible outreach, and that was at Wacken, and on the second year. The first year it was fantastic. I mean, even the festival leading there at Wacken, even they wanted to have 1,000 Metal Bibles to spread to their priests inside the festival area. That was wonderful. And as payment for that, we got a booth for 6 meters just outside the main stage there. So where we can have Metal Bibles. So it was wonderful. Thousands of metal just were distributed that year. But then next year, some people that saw us first year, a theologian, totally hate what we were doing there. So she was talking very bad things about us to the festival leading. and unfortunately he believed totally what she said. So then at the middle of the second year we were at Wacken, he totally turned around, that he sent his elite guards just to throw us out there in the middle of the night. They threw me and my team out with the metal Bibles there. So that was very tough. And yeah, that was not good. But that's the only thing I've been kicked out of because of the metal Bible. I mean, we always try to be nice to people and show people God's love. Never been hostile, and if people don't like us, fine. But we never say bad things about them or anything. So we just there trying to be God's arms to the people we meet. Yeah.
Yeah. So how? Because you've been kicked out of the second year, but you were there for 3 years.
Yeah,
So how
exactly.
you managed to get back then?
Yeah, that was God was opening a way for me the third year there. So, I mean, although we in the team that were inside the festival, it was we that were kicked out, but the main team, they were outside the festival area, there just outside there in the entrance, meeting people there. So they keep going there, and the third year also. So we had a camp there just outside the festival area. It was an old couple that had a big area there that they owned, and we were allowed to that were part of the church that were helping with this outreach, and we were there and praying and eating, etc. Anyway. And then on the third year, one of the people that were in the outreach that was actually saved through the Metal Bible the year before, God saved him. He had bought a ticket to Wacken, but he felt that he shouldn't go inside himself, so he offered it to me, and then I had to really pray about it and think hard about it, because the guards there, when they threw us out, they said that we were not allowed to come anywhere close to the festival area, and if we ever showed up there, they would throw us out immediately, and we were banned for our whole life to ever enter a Wacken ground there, they said. So I had to think hard about that, and the next year, no, not next year, I mean the next day, I decided then to walk into this area. So I went, so I prayed, and laid it all in God's hand. And then I just took this ticket, and they exchanged it. So I got the bracelet, etc. So everything was fine there. But then after I got this bracelet and just walked away like 10 meters, they called me back.
They recognize you.
Exactly. Then I just froze the eyes, and then I thought that, oh, they have found me on a blacklist now, so now they will throw me out immediately. So I went down, I went back there with very slow steps, and then he said to me there that, oh, you have a special ticket, so you will have some special cool merchandise, so take it here. Okay, thanks, big thanks. And then I took it and went into the area there just in front of the stage there. And the cool thing also that when I went there, I met another person from the Metal Bible team there. And we met there and we started to pray. And, since the music at metal festivals are very loud, it fits perfect just to pray just inside the area there where no one was hearing us anyway when the crowd was sharing there. So we just prayed and that the God will really do great things and be king and rule also inside the area there. So that we did. So I had a cool picture where I'm standing there in front of the main Wacken stage, and just as a testimony of what God can do, and that God opened a way for me to come back there and have some a big comeback there.
It's very interesting, isn't it? Because the metal community is one of the one of the groups that the church try to stay as far as possible, isn't it? And then sometimes, like I see, like you hear like people like, "Oh, well, God is not moving. We need revivals and this kind of like," and then like you realize that God's spirit's actually moving and moves quite, you know,
Mm.
fiercely. Like it doesn't, it never stops moving, and
Mm.
it does because you know if you expecting to see it only on a specific context, then you never see it. Like,
Mm. Mm.
by the time you open your eyes and you walk where Jesus would have walked,
Mm. Yeah.
you know, where Jesus would have been if not on Wacken or Bloodstock or Hellfest.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we have to be at these festivals because they are not coming to our church usually, these kind of people.
Yeah.
But we have to go to them on their ground and show them that we're also metalhead, but we love Jesus as well, and we can relate to them in a different way. And when they see that we show them love and we treat them good, then lots of prejudgments about Christians and Christianity just are dropped and are broken, and people start to be open about the message and check out the Metal Bible. And also, it's very common when we are standing there with the Metal Bibles that people come to us to talk and to about Christian faith, what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we also put up signs sometimes saying that feel free to, if you want to, we can pray for you, etc. Your needs, and if they like to, they can just come to us and we can pray for them, etc. Or just offering available to talk and being there for people.
I think it's like just be there, isn't it?
Mm.
Sometimes that's the only. A lot of times I have seen, like in mission, that you most of the time you just have to be present. Just be
Mm.
there and be available, basically.
Mm.
You like,
Exactly. We need to be Christ's outstretched hands to the people we meet. That's a key thing to do for all Christians everywhere. But it's also a good thing also when being at this festival is that you really see the reality of people of many that don't know Christ. You see all the drunkenness and you see bad things happening. I mean it's an eye opener really to see that that's the harsh reality for many. And so sometimes
but
I
that's
think
the real world, isn't this? But especially
it's a good
going to the
work.
festivals, so you go to a place where people intentionally gonna, even the ones that they're not alcoholics or they're not drug addicts,
Of course.
they may take drugs to the festivals only or
Yeah.
drink excessively. So it's like it's an interesting setup, like an experience.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you when you see this, you get more need for people and really see that this is the harsh reality, and they really need Jesus, and we need to reach out to them. And I mean, if you've been to the church and you're seeing the church all your life, and then you're not seeing the harsh reality for
Yeah.
how people have it that don't know
Yeah.
Christ.
Okay. So we're about closing to 40 minutes, so
Yeah.
we don't want to take. So for closing,
Mm.
share a story, an interesting story from the Metal Bible outreaches, like with a person, and then we can see, say like how people can support you
Yeah.
as a ministry.
Yeah. Yeah, there are lots of interesting stories there, but I can tell you one. It was one year at Sweden Rock Festival where there were a bunch of Satanists that were coming to us, and they were very hostile about seeing us there, and they were talking and harshly discussing Christian matters with us. And then they left for some time, and then they come back just 15 minutes later, and then they left, and then they came back, and they were very, very hostile and aggressive. But anyway, we just tried to show them, be nice, and show them God's love, and so. And then next year, I met one of them that came to my booth, and he says that things had happened in his life. So now he has been more open about Christ, and he really wanted to have a metal Bible, and and so that was quite cool. And also another story is that we met some from people from a very satanic, and they're really open satanic metal band in Sweden at one year Sweden Rock. And the main leader of that band, he came to our booth and he took a metal Bible, ripped a few pages off, and he spit on the stereo, and he was very aggressive and totally hate that we were there with the metal Bible. And then and they also put up signs saying that we hate you. Put up the signs on the stereo, etc. Very sad that they've been so hateful. Anyway, when he left there, and the other band member also left, then I just called after him that, but Jesus is still the strongest. And when I said that, he just almost fell. He just wackled and almost fell. I mean, he was walking straight, and then when I said the name Jesus, he almost fell down to the ground there, because the evil force in him felt the power of Jesus' mighty name there. So it's pretty cool. And the cool thing also that was also the year when Striper were playing at this Sweden Rock Festival, and then. They were out of their regular Bibles, and then I asked them, the band, if they wanted to have metal Bibles, and they said, of course, we're glad to take some metal Bibles. So me and a friend of mine, we took 100 metal Bibles to them. And when I was carrying these metal Bibles, then and was about to enter the festival area again, the backstage area, and then all of a sudden I saw someone walking to me, and that was the main leader of this band, this satanic metal band. So he saw that I was there, and carrying metal Bibles that was about to be spread from on stage with Striper. That was quite.
Are they still throwing Bibles, Striper?
Yeah, they threw out metal Bibles there. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I was never like a big fan of hair metal, this kind of stuff. So I know Striper's stories about them. Their type of metal was never my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I appreciate what they were doing, and especially when they were doing it. They were one of the, you can say, the pioneers of metal in Christianity.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of, especially with a boost of metalcore, like at some point the whole metalcore scene was just Christians.
Yeah.
But back then, like during the 80s, it was like, other bands were making fun of them. Like,
yeah. And I also can mention something about the Metal Bible for those of you that have not checked it out yet, and that is that it's. Of course, it's the new part of it's the New Testament. It features New Testaments and also lots of metalheads that talk about what God and the Bible means to them, and the salvation prayer, and the whole layout of and look of it, feel of it is 100% metal. But it's a real Bible in the New Testament part of it.
It's also a good setup.
Good format,
It's not
yeah.
like a cheap.
No. It's
cheap
professional.
books. Like, it has like a nice all that.
Yeah, that's Nick McBrain. I see. Yeah.
I don't know who is he.
That's a Rob Rock. I saw that also. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't. The one of the most interesting, I don't think it's in the Metal Bible, was Pedro Saldovar, Morbid Angels drummer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's a Christian now.
His testimony was quite interesting. I was reading it at some point. He was saying and it was funny because being Christian, it wasn't his reason leaving the band. It was the reason not going back to the band because he was away in the hospital.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sometimes like how things are working out and people coming to Christ. So as a last thing, how people can support you?
Yes, of course. To start with, to check out metalbibleinternational.com, our main website, where you can find all about info about the Metal Bible
I will
and
leave the links either on the
yeah.
comments or the description of the
Yeah,
video.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, we are doing this to reach out to the metal world, and we are depending on gifts. So if someone feel led to and give a gift to it, that's wonderful.
And of
We
course,
also have
prayer.
some, yeah, of course, very much prayer we need. We need prayer for protection and prayer for the people we meet, etc. So prayer is very important thing. And also there are lots of cool Metal Bible merchandise at christianbandchurch.com that you also can buy, and all the income and the profit of it goes straight to Metal Bible. So we can print more Metal Bibles in new languages, etc. And I can also say that at these two festivals that I mentioned, Wacken Open Air and the Sweden Rock Festival, over 100,000 Metal Bibles have been distributed on just these two festivals.
1,000 Bibles, you said.
100,000, yes.
100,000 in two
Yes,
festivals.
yes, yes,
Like
yeah.
in the whole years.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a lot of Bibles, isn't it?
through the years we have been at these two festivals. Over 100,000 metal Bibles have been distributed there. Yes,
That's quite interesting. Yeah,
that's
that's
quite a few there. And I mean, it says in the Bible that the word of God will not return void, but God will watch over His word to make sure it is fulfilled. So we know that there's a big harvest waiting there, and we've seen some of it already through what God is doing through the metal Bible.
And I think in a way, although there is like quite a hostile
Mm,
environment, hostile not like people who leech us, but like they can try to, discourage us. We
mm,
had a lot of like, people on our Facebook pages saying a lot of different things, but it's kind of, yeah, as you said, like it's also we have to accept the responsibility as Christians that like we actually
mm,
big part of this hostility is our fault,
mm. Yeah, yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. Unfortunately, many metalheads have bad experience from Christians that have totally condemned them and said bad things about them and their music style of clothes, etc. And that's very sad. So, I mean, we had to really show them God's love instead, and like we try to do with the Metal Bible and just being there and available for people.
Yeah, and people can order metal Bibles from your website as well, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
but
Yeah.
then again, if I mean, if someone local to us, we are in the southeast of England, in
Mm.
Medway and the surrounding towns. If anyone listening and wants a metal Bible,
Mm.
can message us. I mean, obviously for the local, our local
Mm.
communities, so
Mm.
you don't have to go. We wouldn't post like anywhere. We wouldn't supply them to anyone like further away because that out of it's like we leave them to you. But
Mm.
in our local communities, if anyone like close to us wants one, they can drop us a message and we can
Mm.
arrange either to drop you one or post one free of charge, basically. Because our sending charge is already paid for them, so so
Mm.
someone else paid for them, so we don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
charge. And obviously, like we gonna yeah, I mean that's podcast is for you to get any donation, but like for us, if anyone ever, all of the Bibles are free, we accept donations as well. Like, but
Mm.
we never ask for donations. Like, if anyone feels that he wants to give them, then that's fine.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So, thank you for coming. It was very interesting conversation. Uh, don't leave after we close the stream. So for the rest of you, yeah, please let us know in the comments what your thoughts are, and of course if you would like us to meet with us at the moment of the recording and when that go live, we don't meet in person yet. We're still arranging a few things, but we can always meet for drinks or coffee in the area and have a we try to organize some Bible studies in the local community. So stay tuned and yeah, we'll see you on the next podcast, hopefully with Roger, and we arranging some other names to guest speakers here. Okay, take care, all of you, and take care of yourselves, all of you. All right. Bye.